Trump claimed, listen, he had a crowd bigger than Martin Luther King Jr.'s crowd. Like he did, but he did not, obviously. But he said it. He said it was big as MLK, but actually bigger when you really think about it. No, sir. The biggest crowd was really a January 6th crowd, that the terrorists that attacked the U.S. Capitol. But here it is.
Crowd I've ever spoken. I've spoken to the biggest crowds. Nobody's spoken to crowds bigger than me. If you look at Martin Luther King, when he did his speech, his great speech, and you look at ours, same real estate, same everything, same number of people. If not, we had more. And they said he had 1 million people, but I had 25,000 people. But when you look at the exact same picture, and everything's the same because it was the fountains, the whole thing, all the way back to from Lincoln to Washington, and you look at it, and you look at the picture of his crowd, my crowd, we actually had more people.
When you look at it, when you divide the ratio, and then you multiply it by pi, you will see that it's basically the same. With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show. There's more.
Mr. President, Kamala Harris's father is Jamaican American, and she went to a historically black college. How is she only recently deciding to be black?
Well, you'll have to ask her that question because she's the one that said it. I didn't say it. So you'll have to ask her, and I very much appreciate that question, but you'll have to ask her. But I've known her for a long time. I actually contributed to her campaign a long time ago because I was a developer. I contributed to lots of campaigns of Democrats, Republicans, and some were liberal and some were conservative. But you'll have to ask her about that. But to me, it doesn't matter. But to her, from her standpoint, I think it's very disrespectful to both, really. Whether it's Indian or black, I think it's very disrespectful to both. To me, it doesn't matter.
Why bring it up? Why bring it up?
She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen. She picked a radical left man that is, he's got things done that he has positions that are just not, it's not even possible to believe that they exist. He's going for things that nobody's ever even heard of. Heavy into the transgender world, heavy into lots of different worlds.
Trump, you sound like you're in cognitive decline, sir. Are you okay? Have you been seeing a neurologist? Will the Republican Party call for you to not run? All right. Midas Touch report. Donald Trump woke up Thursday with new polls showing VP Harris leading nationally and also leading in most of the swing states. So that means popular vote electoral college, all right? With apparently nothing else on his schedule than tea time, Trump held a hastily called press conference. He could not get a rally, so he said, let me get a press conference to talk about my rallies, which many major news networks sadly aired live so all could witness the deranged ramblings of a desperate clown. Other highlights from the disastrous presser?
Yeah, pretty much recovered, yeah. I'm a fast healer. It's a hell of a shot, but I'm a fast healer. Yeah, pretty much recovered. Do you have any hearing damage? No, it didn't hit that. I got very lucky. It just hit the lobe, as they call it. Is there a scar on your ear? Yeah, a little bit, not much. On top. And a lot of my people, a lot of the MAGA, as they call them, but the base, and I think the base is 75% of the country, far beyond the Republican Party. Okay?
Mr. President, you have not had a public campaign event for nearly a week now. Tomorrow you'll be in Montana, which is not a swing state. Some of your allies have expressed concern that you're not taking this race seriously, particularly at a time where there is enthusiasm on the other side. Why haven't you been campaigning this week?
Because I'm leading by a lot and because I'm letting their convention go through. and I am campaigning a lot. I'm doing tremendous amounts of taping here. We have commercials that are at a level I don't think that anybody's ever done before. Plus, in certain cases, I see many of you in the room where I'm speaking to you on phones, I'm speaking to radio, I'm speaking to television. Television's coming over here. Excuse me, what are we doing right now? She's not doing any news conference. You know why she's not doing it? Because she can't do a news conference. She doesn't know how to do a news conference. She's not smart enough to do a news conference. And I'm sorry, we need smart people to lead this country because our country's never been in this danger before, both economically and from an outside perspective. You know, I was doing very well with black voters, and I still am. I seem to be doing very well with black males. This is according to polls, as you know. It's possible that I won't do as well with black women, but I do seem to be doing very well with other segments, extremely well with Hispanic. Jewish voters way up. White males way up. White males have gone through the roof. White males way up.
Campaign events. I'm on Facebook, Venmo, Instagram. What are you talking about? You're here. And black people like me, except for black women, but they don't count. You know that's what he's thinking. At this point, he don't give a damn, okay? He's so petty, he can't get out of his own way. It's just ego. It's ego. He's a small person. He's bruised easily because he's a small human being. Now, obviously, he's not ahead in the polls. That's a lie. Obviously, VP Harris is very capable of doing a press conference, has done more than him. Now, here's another following the conference, if you want to call it that. MSNBC host Lawrence O'Donnell had this to say. Here it is.
Well, it was 2016 all over again today. Donald Trump spoke at his home in Florida for over an hour, and all of the cable news networks, including this one, carried it live, just like they all did repeatedly in 2016. It would be hard to find a sentence in what Donald Trump said today that did not include at least one lie. Some of the networks tried to play catch up with fact-checking after Donald Trump finished speaking, but that, of course, is way too late and utterly useless. No network even attempted to fact-check every lie Donald Trump told. Every network has the capacity, especially with these wide screens we now have at home, to run a live scroll at the side of the screen, fact-checking many of Donald Trump's lies. Not all of them, that would be impossible, but many of them as he speaks. Many of the falsehoods Donald Trump spread today in his responses came from that vast well of stupidity that takes up most of his brain. The stupidest person who has ever won a nomination for president stood there in front of those reporters and said his opponent isn't smart enough to do what he was failing at right in front of those reporters. And to make a bad news coverage situation worse, none of the networks, none of them, carried Kamala Harris's speech live after the Trump appearance. None of them.
Including his own network. And that's really what he was calling out. He was calling out MSNBC. Big ups to you, dear brother. So, here we go again. The incapable, mediocre at best, privileged individual who somehow failed to the top, he gets all the press coverage. The black woman, historical in nature, winning in the polls, has all the momentum on her side, out fundraising day by day, the campaign of the political opponent, nothing. Not a thing. All right. Naturally, we will continue to cover all of the shenanigans. Trump is unhinged. He is losing it, and it is a beautiful thing.